catch up in last week's trending AI news. One of the trending headlines last week was Sam's Club eliminating checkout lines in favor of AI-powered shopping. Customers will now use the Scan and Go app to scan items as they shop, and an AI-powered Just Go scanner at the exit will verify purchases, eliminating the need for receipt checks. So this is interesting because Amazon, if I recall, had this, just walk out and go cashierless system, for their physical stores. And then I believe it was last year, they actually phased it out, based on customer feedback. So for Sam Clubs to go all in and a similar technology, it's interesting to see how this will work, compared to Amazon's, which wasn't as successful, and they ended up looking for this new system for checking out without, cashiers in place. Something cool that was trending last week was an AI model that was tested using Ace Attorney for its benchmark. So how our AI lab evaluated the reasoning abilities of top AI models, such as Google's Gemini and OpenAI's O1 model, by having them play the classic Capcom game Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Now, Ace Attorney requires a lot of logical deduction and evidence analysis. So, interestingly enough, none of the models actually completed all the trials, highlighting the challenges that AI models still face with complex reasoning tasks. Alright, so I thought this was very exciting. So I'm a big Ace Attorney fan. I have all of the games in the series, and I know firsthand how difficult it is for some cases to go through all the evidence and remember the context of past investigations and use that information to solve a case. So of course I didn't expect an AI model to be able to do that, but I think it's an interesting benchmark just to see how far advanced reasoning skills are. Another trending headline was a Columbia University student who was suspended over an AI cheating tool, raising money to create an AI cheating tool. Roy Lee, a former Columbia University student, was suspended after creating an AI tool that assists users in real time during job interviews. But despite the controversy, Lee's startup, Cluely, has secured $5.3 million in seed funding. The app, which analyzes on-screen content and audio to provide instant responses, is marketed as a productivity enhancer. But it really does raise concerns for ethical use. Alright, so I don't condone cheating, full disclaimer, but I think I can see why, Roy Lee actually created this kind of tool. It just shows how ridiculous the modern tech interview is, and outdated. Yeah, and outdated, exactly. But they definitely, have an outdated method of testing a programmer's capability. It just kind of shows that it's time for the Googles and the Amazons to kind of update how they test a programmer's capability. Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing also is that it is being marketed as a productivity enhancer, but let's call it a spade. I mean, it really is, this way to beat the tech interview. And hopefully what this really does is be able to get programmers to understand perhaps the steps needed to pass those kind of challenges. At the same time, really do allow tech companies to up their game and change this outdated system. And lastly, Adobe launched a content authenticity app, which is designed to help creators protect their work in the age of AI. So Adobe launched a beta version of this app, and it allows users to embed tamper-resistant metadata known as content credentials into their images. And this provides information about the creator and the editing history. And it aims to distinguish authentic content from AI-generated material and prevent unauthorized use. Right, so to me this is a big first step in being able to really recognize what's real and what's not real in the age of AI, not just from images, but from audio, from video. This is really important. And I believe Google already looked into this for, what their model generates, having some kind of watermark that could be utilized for essentially the internet to be able to know transparency of what's real and what's AI generated. That being said, I really don't think that this is enough. This is just a step. For example, if having this metadata and it says that if people have screenshots, of course the original is still there with the metadata, it really doesn't prevent others from just getting their AI generated content and putting metadata on that. Yeah, and I think this is a bigger problem than just one company can solve. I kind of wish that more companies get together and try to resolve this issue. This is going to be a lot bigger than I think one company can handle. Alright, so that's a wrap on last week's trending AI news. Please be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest trending topics in AI.